To the last of first series where I start from the back and see how many cars we can pass. So we are on Winton in the Formula Vee, and we are headed right out of the pits. And I see there's a few guys that are a bit slow, so I just pulled up just a little bit just to let the guys pass by, and now the game is on. So first turn, side by side. Okay, there's two guys right in front of me, and I'm thinking I want nothing to do with this. I'm just gonna let them duke it out, see what happens. And then I see, okay, cool, so now we have a single file. There'll be more. Oh shit, something's happening here. Oh, and we have passed 1, 2, 3. This the ability to essentially dodge allowed us to pass 3 people relatively quickly. So that's good. That's why on the first lap or the first few turns I'm always very cautious. And now we are on to a kind of a normal last to first and trying to hunt down this guy. So right now, Winton is actually a really difficult track to pass on. So I'm just hoping I'm going to be able to make it close to the front, or at least see how many cars I can pass in this capacity. All right, and this turn is so tricky. If you hit the inner curve, you're just going to go flying off. It's really hard to kind of make work. But now we should be in this guy's draft, so we will start clawing back up. Oh, and I don't think, oh, something happened up ahead. Something, okay, on this next turn, I'm going to be right in this guy's draft. I should be able to gain the time right up to the next turn. Now, obviously, I won't be able to pass him, but I'm expecting to be right up his gearbox, let's put it that way.
You're in fifth.
Oh, and he definitely takes it slower than I would. In fact, if I had more space, I think I would have just passed him right there. But right now, I don't think I can make this one pass. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, should I? But every single turn on Winton is just so narrow, and there isn't that much, there isn't much room to make things happen, except on the straights, maybe. So right here is a very tricky section as well. You kind of have to measure your speed perfectly in order to just get between those two borders. And here I see him spin out. All right, cool. So I was going to make my move anyways, but the fact that he spins out just makes things easier. And this guy is going a little wide as well. So in these sectors, you can notice that the road is actually slightly banked. So if you stick on the inner side, you actually get a bit of banking. I find that it helps me turn and get a bit more speed. Now, I wish I could make my move here, but unfortunately, oh, that is a very common thing. So he hits the side, and I'm thinking, okay, it's time to make my move. Get him on the inside, and we'll see if we can make this one hold.
Stay on the right.
And yeah, he just decides not to really challenge us, or just can't really make it work. So we get the easy pass on the inside. So now we have a few more guys up ahead, and they are the leaders. So they're running a decent pace, but I think we can make up some time. We are not in draft yet, but I typically take this turn considerably faster than most people, so I think I'm going to be able to make up a lot of stuff and get into this guy's draft relatively quickly. So now we are, I actually think we're in draft right now, so I should be able to claw him back up. But on Winton, oddly enough, draft helps, but draft in the turns and the corners doesn't help as much. Like on long straights, it definitely helps. And he goes wide. He definitely screws up, goes wide, then hits him with the inner side. So I know I'm right on him, and I assume in the S's I'm going to be right behind him. But I don't know if you guys have ever tried to pass on the S's right here. It's borderline impossible, because unless you want to cause an accident, there's just so much. There you go. Yeah. So I finally, on the exit, I get a better exit. I'm trying to make this work. Now, this once again is very difficult. And he's slightly up ahead of me, and I decide not to challenge and not to take the outside, because as we saw, he actually went wide. So if I would have tried to challenge him on the outside, he would have ran into me. I've had many accidents there, and therefore I decided to kind of just wait for my next turn. So here I actually get him on the outside, and here we are. Challenging number 1. But now the leader, as we were fighting for second position, leader got a huge lead. We weren't able to keep up pace because as you fight, you lose time. So I have 2.2 seconds to make up. I think I could at least get in this draft, but it's going to be a challenge to see if I can make up 2.2 seconds on the leader. I'm not entirely sure what lap we're on. I think we're on lap 5 or 6 of 7 or 8. I don't know. But we can see him, and I'm definitely making up time. Just in this little bit here, I definitely made up a bit of time. And we'll see if we can make up time in the slow S's. Now, if we do catch him, I'm going to kind of try to make a break. I'm going to try to break down the track and how I think about it and how I take it. But for now, let's focus on him up ahead. And I can see he has a decent pace. So we're definitely catching, but this S section is very, very misleading. And we're at 1.2. Okay, cool. So we went from 2.2 at the beginning of the lap to 1.2. Literally made up a second in like half a lap or 3/4 of a lap. And now we are clearly in this guy's draft. It's just a matter of clawing him back up. I don't know, however you want to say it. And I'm hoping this is not last lap, or else I won't have time to maybe make that pass. So we'll see. We have an extra lap. And we appear to have, because otherwise it would have said white flag. So we're good. We're 0.9 seconds behind. And let's just try to see what we can do.
You just hit the fastest lap.
And we hit the fastest lap. I don't think I had draft there. Not really. I don't know. 133.7. Done faster, but it's a decent lap. It's much easier to put in good times when you're chasing someone or when you're way out in front. Like whenever there's pressure, whenever you're applying pressure or you have no pressure, those are when I'm putting in my fastest times. It's very rare that I'm going to put in my fastest times when someone is chasing me. It happens, but you know. Okay, so now we are clearly caught up with them. And I'm just trying to figure out what the right moment is. Now, the pressure's off of me a bit. It's all on him. So he might make a mistake. Or, oh, here he goes a little wide. But there's no, I still can't do anything here. And I'm just thinking, okay, when's the best time? What's the safest time? Because at this point, I know I have faster pace. I know I could probably pass him somewhere. I just want to do it in the safest way possible. So instead of throwing myself on the outside here, I'm like, okay, look, I'll get another try. Here, perfect moment. I take the maximum amount of road. Oh, and we have contact. I think that one's on me, actually. I think I went out a bit too much. He was trying to squeeze me. I was trying to open it up, and I think we just nicked. There we go. Just nicked wheels, and I managed to hold it on the inside, and I make the pass. So now he's still in my draft, so I have to defend. I don't know if he's going to be throwing it on the outside here. But here I'm still in front.
Right
So I'm just,
clear on the right.
if I'm still in front, I'm just going to take all the road I can, and I clearly get a lead here. All right, so now we're in the lead. I don't think he's catching, even with draft. So I'm not feeling as worried, because now these are all turns. So if I just take the turns better, then I'm pretty much set. And I still have him in my mirror. I can still see him. He's still in draft, but hopefully I'll be able to get out of draft relatively soon. It's just a matter of not screwing these turns up, because if you screw up one of these turns, especially this one, so easy to spin out, then no matter all that work that we've just done is all for naught. So here, I'm just focused on putting the best laps possible and trying to get him out of my draft. And here I get much better exit, and I can see, what are we, I think we're at almost a second, and he's fading away in my mirror. Barely in draft, 0.9, so he's still in draft, but I think we're going to be able to lose him relatively soon. And at 0.9, I'm not super worried about him. We are kind of going away. So I guess this is going to be final lap, or maybe before final lap. I'm going to try to do a breakdown if you guys want to know how I take this track. So here, the first track, I'm going to be braking kind of in the middle of the dirt, and I downshift into third, because I find that really helps me. So here, and then the trick here is to hit the left, like bank it on the left side, avoid the left curve, and then take the right curve. And then you want to make sure you're not hitting the second like little bumps on the left. So here I'm actually going to be looking to do a lift and a cut, like a big cut as much as I can. I can cut way more than that on the grass. So I didn't actually take the perfect line there. But at the same time, I am still cautious, because if you cut too much, obviously you get a slow down, and then if it slow down, the person behind can catch up. So I'm still playing it relatively safe while still trying to do a fast lap. And here I'm looking at the red stuff on the left, like kind of like the red banking. And as soon as I see the stripes appear, that's when I start kind of lifting. And throughout the entire S's, I didn't really have much time to describe them, but I'm really trying to coast a lot more and I use very, very, very light braking to get my car to go exactly where I want. Now this is a tricky corner. If I have another lap, we do have another lap, I'll tell you how I think of that one. All of these turns are quite tricky, because you cannot hit the inner curb. The inner curb is so high and it disrupts the car so much, you have to avoid it all the
I
time.
need one more good lap.
Alright, so now, since we're miles ahead of the next guy, we're over, 2 seconds ahead now. I'm just gonna try to break it down again. So here, in the middle of the dirt, kind of do a downshift and turn. We want to kind of bank the car to the left and then hit this curve, kind of go over it to, cut it as much as possible. Now this one, you have to brake later after the 50, because once again, you don't want to touch it ideally. And then here is, like I was saying before, you want to cut the grass as much as possible. There we go. See how much I cut that grass and I did not get an off track? It's insane. So here I'm accelerating, and I'm going to do a light lift when I see the post or the house on the left. Like a very light lift, and I just kind of keep on going. And then this is like the world's longest trail brake. Very, very light trail brake. Super long, and I bring it into second to try to bring it up. Here I'm trying to hug the corner, because there is banking in the road. And then once again here, I'm braking early and long and very short, narrow cut. Down a second, and then after that, just speed up. Now this one is very tricky. I try to visualize a very, very late apex, and I just try to visualize that on the exit, and that's how I turn. And you want to take this off ramp, or I don't know, this off track stuff. Not off track, but the red and white stuff. And finally, this one is always tricky. I always feel like I'm screwing it up, and somehow it just works. And here it is, like a 5% brake, just like a nudge, just with a love. So there you go. There you have it, from last to first. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. This was a relatively easy one, since we passed everyone at the beginning. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember to like and subscribe for more.